who said a historical structure couldn't be a nice and comfortable hotel. Old always doesn't mean damaged. Never assume that something is ruined because it is ancient. Travelers, you can go no farther than a new location's prominent structures to learn about its history. So, join us today as we look at the best 5 historic and iconic hotels in London. Let's jump right into it. Number 5. Corinthia Hotel London. One of the opulent hotels in the city is undoubtedly the Corinthia. It was constructed in 1885 and is close to Trafalgar Square, making it accessible by foot from Westminster Abbey, Covent Garden, and the London Eye. Luxurious accommodations, on-site dining options, a large pool, and even a Harrods concession stand are found within. It also contains the biggest spa in the capital of the United Kingdom. Want to get pampered? Visit Corinthia, London. Do it. Number 4. Great Northern Hotel. In 1854, the Great Northern Hotel began serving customers of the Great Northern Railway Company. If you're after a hotel to represent the great era of railway hotels, that period when rail companies sought to bolster their reputations by providing grandiloquent station accommodation, you choose the Midland Grand, which is now known as the St. Pancras Renaissance. Right? Wrong. The St. Pancras is a sensational building, yes, but as a hotel, we prefer the more adventurous rebirth of its older and curvier King's Cross rival, the Great Northern. Yes, it's old, but you wouldn't have to open your apartment door with a skeleton key. It's not Hotel Transylvania. Anyway, we have the Midland Grand on our list, and this hostel boasted unique features like revolving doors and a cutting-edge hydraulic lift. Stay tuned for more on this. Number 3. Brown's Hotel. In 1837, Brown's Hotel was first established. Despite being made up of 11 magnificent Georgian homes, none of the 117 guest rooms seemed to be the same. James and Sarah Brown, who had previously served as Lord and Lady Byron's butler and maid, opened it as a modest hotel. Later, in 1859, the Ford family seized control of the hotel and expanded it with additional guest rooms and the addition of a public dining room, the first in London. The likes of Oscar Wilde and Bram Stoker, to mention a few, have stayed at Brown's along with other notable Victorian-era authors from London. Well, why not? It is a sophisticated hotel. Per Brown Hotel, beautifully appointed in muted shades with lively pops of color, our 40 suites are effortlessly elegant, overlooking iconic Mayfair streets and sophisticated boutiques. So, would you like to live in this hotel, where there is a great likelihood of running across famous people? Let us know in the comments section below. Aside from its well-known residence and stunning architecture, Brown's Hotel is renowned for hosting Alexander Graham Bell's first phone conversation in the city. Brown's Hotel is also a boutique hotel. Number 2. The Langham. Having a member of the royal family conduct the opening ceremony of a hotel is a good sign that its rooms will be lavish. Prince William, the son of Queen Victoria, was a guest of honor a year after the Langham was publicly opened by him. 100 water closets, 36 bathrooms, and hydraulic elevators in the United Kingdom were among the hotel's features at the time. The entry and courtyard were lit with electricity at this point, which was 1879. I know it seems boring today, but back in the day it was a first, and one of the many reasons why the Langham Hotel is one of London's most historic hotels. Number 1. Midland Grand Hotel. The UK railroad system expanded throughout the Industrial Revolution, making the country's railroad companies enormously wealthy and influential. Numerous businesses thus tried to build hotels close to their terminals. London has seen a rise in the number of opulent hotels, as you would expect. With amenities that were far ahead of its time, the Midland Grand Hotel debuted in 1873. Revolving doors, an avant-garde hydraulic lift, and concrete flooring were some of the hotel's standout features. Despite the lack of a restroom at first, each room had its fireplace. Victorian society disapproved of such a level of secrecy as needless. The 1930 saw the demise of this old hotel as a place to stay. Thankfully, the Midland Grand Hotel reopened in 2011 as St. Pancras Renaissance London. Now you can expect a private bathroom as standard. Here are some honorable mentions of historic and iconic hotels in London. Number 4. Claridge's. One of London's oldest hotels, the one you can now see dates back to 1854. But in 1812, another lodging establishment, Mivort's, debuted just nearby. Claridge's was the name of the hotel that was created after Mivort's and its neighbor merged. The oldest operating elevator in London, according to this Grade 2 listed structure, was installed in 1865. That's debatable whether it's accurate or not. The elevator is still managed by an attendant, nevertheless, as of this video. Wish to enjoy luxury in the same way as our forefathers? Drop by Claridge's.
It's not bad.
If you're an essayist, you may wish to reside in a historic hotel named after one of the essayist's forefathers, where you may find autograph books by some of today's most respected authors. More details to come on this. Number 3. The Beaumont. It should not be surprising that this was formerly the parking garage for affluent shoppers in the 1920s, given its closeness to the Grade 2 listed Selfridges building. Up until famous restaurateurs, Corbin and King transformed it into the magnificent 5-star hotel that presently resides on the property. After purchasing it in 2018, the Barclay brothers, who also own the Ritz, added a new all-day dining area called the Gatsby Room. It also has a covered outdoor dining terrace overlooking Brown Heart Gardens. As to whether this hotel will have another owner, we don't know, but when it happens, trust us to let you also know, so subscribe with notifications so you do not miss any of our content. Number 2. Hazlitt's. A hack rider stayed at 6 Fred Street's Georgian Guest House in 1830, where he passed away in abject poverty.
Seriously?
That guy was William Hazlitt, the most famous essayist of the Romantic period. Hazlitt complies with the demands of the contemporary visitor while maintaining classic English hospitality. Every room has unobtrusively installed satellite television, free Wi-Fi, and air conditioning. Original Georgian woodwork, one-of-a-kind antiques, and timeless portraits are tastefully and charmingly presented. You can browse the hotel's library to uncover personally signed copies of some of the best-loved works of contemporary literature. Number 1. Blake's. The argument may be made that Blake's was the first boutique hotel in history. Boutique hotels are tiny, individualist, design-driven establishments that began to spring up worldwide in the early 1980s. Leading the way with its cosmopolitan, Orientalist ambience and rooms created with distinct character rather than following a practical pattern, Anauska Hempel's pioneering residence matches the term. None of these take your fancy, or perhaps you do not want to live in a historic hotel. That is acceptable. See our top picks for the best places to stay in London. To learn more, watch our video on the best places to stay for solo travelers in London. We hope you discover something that meets your needs. If not, don't worry. This channel has you covered because we will bring you content that will surely meet your requirements.